Hello and welcome to Daytona for round 6 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Qualifiers. We're here at the self-proclaimed World Centre of Racing using the longer configuration of their Rallycross circuit. Welcome again everyone, Dane Baird here, alongside Joshua Lee in the commentary box with Mark Tranter up in the production booth. So Joshua, welcome to the IRX series. You'll be joining me. I know I said the same about Austin, but you'll be joining me for the rest of the season. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome today. I'm really excited to see these Rallycross cars. One of my favorite cars on the circuit to drive. They're just so difficult. You're going right from asphalt to dirt. You have a loss of grip when you get in that dirt, and you got to make sure you can make it up in the asphalt. These cars are just so exciting and fun to watch and drive, and I'm super excited to see what each of these drivers can do here today to try and qualify for the iRacing World Championship.
Absolutely. So top 14 in the overall standings at the end of the season will be considered for a World Championship license. So if you behave on the circuit and they don't disqualify you, you'll get your license in the top 14. And currently, top of the standings is Joni Olakainen. We've got Vincente Sayas, Garrett Maines, Ilari Leminsavu, and Jake Robertson in the top 5 so far. All the way down to 14th is Daniel Machani Fenalosa. So he's currently in a little bit of danger. Got a couple of drivers just behind him wanting to take that 14th spot away from him. We are 2 minutes into qualifying. They're going to get 3 laps, and a lap around here is not very long. You can see under 40 seconds for everyone so far in qualifying. Let's see if anyone can break into the 38s maybe, as we ride on board here with Jake Robertson, one of the Apex Racing team drivers and also a coach at Apex Racing Academy. He's coming along now near about halfway through the lap, around the hairpin. And they're going to go through the S's now. This is back onto the regular road course. They're going to cut across the grass, which you're allowed to do here. You can do it with these Rallycross cars, all-wheel drive in towards the final corner. This is going to be the main action zone. This is where the first corner that they'll be attempting to get through for each of the starts. We're going to have 4 starts, 2 heats, Consolation, and a feature race. There is Conor Parisi, and that is the start. Well, that's the finish line. That big gate just before they head onto the dirt. So that is the finish line. The start line is in the pit exit for the regular road course. And 3 minutes in qualifying, a couple drivers already finished all of their laps. Joshua, what are you expecting in the first heat here?
I'm expecting a little bit of carnage because this is the first time they've raced on Daytona in this schedule, and it is a very, sort of compared to all the other Rallycross tracks, a very narrow start. They're starting out of the pit exit of the normal road course, like you said, and they can go 3 wide, but that's pretty much all you can go, and they got a bottleneck down into that first turn, the hairpin on the road course. I think it's going to be an exciting start. I think we're going to see a little bit of carnage when they head down into the dirt section for the first time.
Absolutely, it goes from 3 lanes at the start, bottlenecks into turn, well, the final corner of the circuit, and then once you head into the dirt, really 2 wide at best. Realistically, you want to be going single file through there, and I don't think we're going to see many drivers willing to give up those positions. Here's Yogi Zajson. He's currently sitting in a 9th position. Remember, for everyone that is new to the series, heat number 1 is going to contain all of the odd qualifying drivers. That's currently Vincente Salas, who you can see on screen now, Leminsavu, Robertson, Horman, Zajson, and Albert. All of the even drivers will head to heat number 2. Both of those heats, the top 4 will head to the feature. Everyone else, and that's going to be 4 drivers in this one. The bottom 4 are going to head to the Consolation. The top 2 from that will get a last chance qualifying spot into the feature, which is going to have 10 drivers, 10 laps, and that is where all of the points will be scored. With just 30 seconds left of qualifying, we've got a couple drivers still left on track. And that includes Adria Perez in the MSI Esports VW Beetle, opting to use the handbrake around that hairpin. It's one of the few corners on the IRX calendars. Adria Perez goes for a bit of a detour. He's going to park it underneath the little gazebo there and do some donuts for us. I wonder if he's listening to the broadcast and he knows we're watching him. As qualifying ticks to the end, and we're about to see our grid for heat number 1. In just a few moments' time, they will be gridding up 6 drivers in this one. There are the qualifying results. Vincente Salas takes pole with Garrett Maines in 2nd. Then we've got Ilari Leminsavu, Rasmus Tuominen, Jake Robertson, Joni Olakainen, Tommy Holman, Adria Perez, Georgi Zajson. We've got Marcos Matamoros, Bo Albert, and Conor Parisi right at the bottom. They're only half a second behind. Vicente Salas, the only person to hit those 38-second lap times. And there he is on pole position for heat number 1. Ilaria Lamincevu will take second. Jake Robertson in third. And from what I can remember from doing this myself, the top 3 drivers will be side by side at the start of this one. Tommy Holman and Georgi Zajson will be side by side in the second row. And then Bo Albert will be on his own at the back in 6th position. But that's a very tight start to this race. And invariably, the guy on the inside or the outside, on the right-hand side as we'll see it, is going to get pushed onto the grass. There's always carnage at the start at Daytona. I am looking forward to this one. Only the one car, that's Garrett Maines on the grid so far.
And people always misjudge that braking zone too, because when you're coming at it in a normal race, you're braking a lot later than you are off the start because you're at lower RPMs, you're at a lower speed. So everybody sort of misjudges that braking point, and they brake either too late or too early. So you're either going to lose time or you're going to go off the track. It's sort of a catch-21 diving down into turn number 1 on the start.
Absolutely. They're still not gridding up. They're making us wait. They've got 2 minutes to do so from the start of qualifying, which I believe is about to be up. They need to get a move on so we can get racing for heat number 1. There they are. There's just one driver that we're waiting for. There he is. That was Ilaria Lamincevu. The lights are on. We're ready to race here for heat number 1 at the Daytona. And we got green at Daytona for the first time. It's a poor start from Jake Robertson. He's left behind by Garrett Maines and Ilaria Lamincevu. Let's see if they can all make it through turn number 1. Garrett Maines, and Salas even with a great move down the inside. A little bit of contact with Ilaria. They're still side by side. Jake Robertson involved in a little bit. They all managed to get through cleanly. Ilaria Lamincevu very sideways, turned around, up and over the turtle car, but he's rolling over the bridge. And he's on the other side of the track. That's his race well and truly over, because he has just ended up, as you can see on the track map, on the other side of the circuit. There's more carnage. Who's that? That's Georgi Zajson and Tommy Holman getting a little bit involved there as well. Lamincevu in first. He's going to retire to the pit lane. Vicente Salas leading this race with Robertson in second, Holman in third, and Zajson down in 5th. But it was Bo Albert all the way at the back that lost it as they came towards the hairpin for the first time.
A hectic first lap. We expected nothing less. Robertson fell down the order, but he made his way up through the dirt section, now sitting in 2nd place behind Vicente Salas, who's holding this lead very well. Robertson made a look to the inside, decided against it. He's going to rest in that 2nd spot right now. As you're taking a look at Tommy Holman trying to defend from Georgi Zajson, and a possible problem for Robertson. He's slow back into 4th.
You've got to slow down from that dirt section. Those slowdowns are very strict here at Daytona. You can cut quite a bit, but if you take too much of leverage that Robertson seems to have done, you're going to get a slowdown. And Robertson thinks about the Joker, but he then backs out as no one else takes the Joker. No one has Jokered. Bo Albert and Ilaria Lamincevu out of this heat race. They'll both be heading to the Consolation. So now this is just defining our grid order for the feature. Whoever finishes in first is going to get pole for that, then 2nd place will get 3rd. Here's Tommy Holman all the way on the grass. Is he going to get a slowdown for that? I saw Jake Robertson doing it. No, he's not. He's gone away with that one. But Holman in 2nd with Zajson just behind Robertson, 2 seconds behind Salas, who is currently leading, and he's extending that gap. The Joker Delta here is about 2 seconds. It's not the biggest one. There it is on the right-hand side. A little bit of a shortcut. Still no one takes the Joker with 2 laps to go.
And this is setting that grid, like you said, for the feature race, and that is so important. The feature race is only 10 laps, no cautions, no pit stops. It is all up to track position, depending on who's going to get that win in the feature race, and that is so important for the points of this championship. So everybody wants to start up front, and right now, Vicente Salas is pulling away with the lead. Tommy Holman, Georgi Zajson, and Jake Robertson having nothing for him as they're going to come and grab that white flag this time by. Is anybody going to hop in the Joker?
If I was Jake Robertson, I would definitely do a diss lap unless anyone else does. And he thinks about it again, but doesn't take it. Everyone misses out on an opportunity to maybe make a move with the Joker as they start the white flag 5-lap race. We're on lap number 5. They're just starting it now. And no one takes that Joker. Robertson with a hard landing, and I think he might have just lost quite a bit of time. He's lost about 2 seconds from that. As there's Tommy Holman, and no one can really do anything about position-wise, because they've all waited till the last lap to take their Joker, which is normally a good thing, but when everyone does it, it means the Joker is pretty much worthless. Everyone's going to take the shortcut this lap. As we see Vicente Salas, he's going to round the final corner, and he will win the first heat of the day. Vicente Salas in that number 5 car, and he will take pole position for the feature as well. Jake Robertson coming in 4th. He's going to qualify 7th in the feature. But for Bo Albert and Ilari Lamentavut, you can see on the bottom of those Heat 1 results, they are heading to the Consolation, where we will see 2 drivers knocked out. So Vicente Salas wins, followed by Tommy Holman, Georgi Zajlon, and Jake Robertson. Those 4 go to the feature. The bottom 2 will be eliminated. And we'll just get the Heat 2 grid up on screen then. Garrett Maines on pole for this one with Rasmus Tuominen in 2nd. Joni Ollikainen in 3rd with Adria Perez in 4th. Marcos Matamoros will start 5th with Connor Parisi at the back in 6th for Jim Beaver Esports.
This grid is interesting because we will have those 2 drivers, like in the last heat, going to the Consolation, a 4-man Consolation, and I believe only 2 are going to make it out of that. But we're going to go 5 red lights, and those green lights are going to come on, and these Rallycross cars are going to get let loose. Let's go racing, Heat 2 at Daytona. It's a good start, 3 wide for the lead currently. They settle it back 2 by 2, 3 rows back. Grabbing that lead is going to be Rasmus Tuominen. Getting a little bit squirrely coming off of the jump. He's in the grass. He's going to go wide, dropping all the way back to P number 5. Grabbing that lead is the Smithfield VW Beetle of Garrett Maines. He's going to try and pull away with Marcos Matamoros behind. Garrett Maines getting a great start. He was able to capitalize on Tuominen having a little bit of an issue coming off of the jump. So Garrett Maines pulling away. Marcos Matamoros in 2nd, 3rd Connor Parise, and then 4th it's Joni Ollikainen. He is in that transfer spot, and he has Rasmus Tuominen now right on his back bumper, trying to catch him and trying to get into 4th to transfer into the feature. We got 2 cars off the track. That looks to be Perez and Matamoros. Now Matamoros sits in the 5th spot. He's going to have to catch Rasmus Tuominen and get that transfer spot. No, it actually looks like Perez is going to be in that transfer spot. So Adria Perez is in the transfer spot. That was Connor Parise involved in that incident with Marcos Matamoros. So Perez going to need to hold on to that 4th spot. He has no pressure right now. Only 5 seconds behind is Marcos Matamoros. So with 3 laps remaining in this race, looks like the top 4 is pretty set in stone unless we get more crashes. But Garrett Maines continues to lead with Joni Ollikainen sitting in 2nd, about 2 seconds behind. No passing right now, but we're still looking at this battle for 3rd. You're looking back on Perez from Tuominen.
That was an awful start from Tuominen. He's managed to claw back thanks to that incident involving Parisi and Matamoros. As Adria Perez takes to the Joker, he's going to come out just side by side with Ollikainen. He's going to have to back out, and he's going to go up into 3rd position. He's going to have to try and get a move on now because Tuominen right on the bumper of him, as Tuominen once again messes up the jump. It's a really difficult jump here at Daytona, and Tuominen's going to go all the way around. Matamoros and Parisi might be able to capitalize on this, and Matamoros does, so does Parisi. Tuominen's back down into last, so the jump costing him the position to the start. It's costing him the positions here again at the end of this race, and he is now 3 seconds behind Parisi.
That was just a poor race all around from Tuominen. He is going to be starting towards the back of that feature, or that Consolation race. I believe he'll be starting in 4th place, dead last in that Consolation. So it's going to be a very difficult race for him. But Connor Parise going to grab that Joker lane. He is completing it. Still, Garrett Maines and Joni Ollikainen still need to complete it. And they're going to be completing it this time by, because this is the white flag lap 5 of 5. We'll be taking the checkered flag this time by. Garrett Maines sailing away at the start. He was able to capitalize on mistakes and got to the lead and never let it go. And he is going to go through the Joker. Garrett Maines is going to grab heat number 2 from Daytona. Joni Ollikainen in 2nd. And it looks like Adria Perez not going to have any difficulty grabbing that 3rd spot. And Marcos Matamoros, using his Joker, is gonna grab P number 4, the final spot in the feature. An unbelievable finish. Matamoros with the Joker on the final lap, able to beat Connor Parise to the finish. And he is going to move on to the feature with Parise now having a race in the Consolation.
Absolutely, he's going to be joined there by Rasmus Tuominen. Really unfortunate for him. I'll give you a bit of background about this jump. You're coming over the crest of the jump a bit sideways after the right left on the dirt just before. So you're coming across sideways, and what that does is it makes the wheels come over the lip of the jump a little bit different, and it sends the car pointing straight to the right. And that's not where you want to be. You want to be pointing it to the left. So it's really difficult to get the car pointing where you want it when you land. And that's what's happened to Rasmus Tuominen twice in that race, unfortunately for him. Here is the grid for the Consolation. Bo Albert on pole with Connor Parisi in second. Ilari Lamansavu will start in third with Tuominen in fourth. The lights are on. We're ready to race for the Consolation. And we go green for the third time, and it's a pretty even start between all three drivers on the front row. Bo Albert on the inside there. Connor Parisi a little bit into Ilari Lamansavu. Looks like Bo Albert's managed to get away cleanly here. Tuominen up the inside of Parisi. They're all single files to come through the
You need to be in that top two to make it into the feature race. The final two drivers to make up that 10-car grid. Parise looking to make the pass onto Tuominen. And a great start from Tuominen. He started in 4th place, dead last in this race. He is up to P number 2 in the transfer spot. And Bo Albert is just trying to run away with the lead. He knows if he runs away with the lead, he's going to have no pressure not making it into the feature. So Parise in full attack mode on Tuominen as they head back into the final corner. They'll head on to lap number 2. Albert running away with the lead. And Parise just needs a little bit more out of that car to get the transfer spot, and he might need a little bit of a mistake from Tuominen.
There's a low limit, so we've got to slow down. He's very slow as he comes over the jump, and he's back up to speed again now, so I think it must have been a slowdown there for him. But Tuominen looking a little bit feisty here with Bo Albert almost to the back as they come out of the hairpin. That's one of the best overtaking opportunities on the circuit, as is this final corner as they come up towards it. 6 laps in the Consolation, remember, still only 1 Joker. No one takes the Joker on this lap, but Lauri Mansavu, it looks like he is out of this one unless there's a serious incident involving our 2 leaders. Connor Parisi falling behind a little bit as well, but it's still Albert followed by Tuominen and Parisi, with Lauri Mansavu right back down in 4th as Parisi hits that curb really hard on the inside. Don't want to be doing that too much. That will definitely get you some damage if you do this. Blue turtle curves we see a couple of times so far in this series really can cause havoc, as Parisi right on the back of Tuominen as they come through the hairpin.
Oh, but he got loose coming out of the dirt section there. You saw it. He had to chase that car to the left side. So he's going to lose all of that time. Now more than a second back from Tuominen. Let's see if he can catch up. You're on board with him right now. He's going to dive into this dirt section using those turtle curves to his advantage. It's a hard landing, but he's able to stick it. Move it to the left side, and a mistake from Rasmus Tuominen. This is what Parise needed. He's going to try and chase him for that transfer spot.
Absolutely, he's going to have just 2.5 laps to do it. Right on the back of him once again. Bo Albert's loving this.
Oh!
He hits the inside wall. That is his chance in the second place. Absolutely over as terms of raw pace. And I think he might take the Joker. No, he's not. But that is the front. The damage doesn't look too bad on the outside of the car, but that has made a steering bent, and it is so difficult, especially on the dirt, to control the car once that happens. So unless Tuominen makes some kind of massive mistake like we've seen him do in the heat number 2, Connor Parisi's chances are very slim here. Bo Albert checking out of this one. He's 1.5 seconds ahead of Tuominen.
And I'm wondering if Parise is going to Joker this lap and try and capitalize on a possible mistake from Rasmus Tuominen on this final lap. Because if he takes that Joker, he will take over second place. Wondering if Bo Albert is going to dive into Joker. No, he's going to save it for the final lap. So Tuominen, there goes Parise into the Joker lane. Going to try and take over second place. Now all he has to do is run away and try and defend as much as he can with 1 lap to go. Tuominen and Albert still need to come down into the Joker lane.
Absolutely, but Parisi needs to get past Bo Albert realistically if he wants a chance of regaining his position after the Jokers. I think Tuominen is definitely in the advantage here. He just has to stick to the back of Conor Parisi and get a good Joker. Conor Parisi right now is going to finish a good 2 seconds behind this lot at the flag. But let's see what happens here. Tuominen might get a bad Joker. They're going to, both of them, go into the Joker. Bo Albert makes it through, so does Tuominen. And you can see there the Joker Delta about 2 seconds. Conor Parisi 3 seconds behind. Albert and Tuominen will get a feature spot. And Parisi and Lemensevu, unfortunately for those two, are going to be eliminated from this one. The feature is in just a few moments' time. But here are the results from the Consolation. Bo Albert will win and take the first transfer spot, followed by Rasmus Tuominen. Those two will be sent to the back of the grid of the feature. And Conor Parisi and Lemensevu will be eliminated. So unfortunate for those guys. We've got 10 drivers getting ready to race here for the feature. 10 laps ahead of us of really close racing. Here is the grid then. Vincente Salas in first with Garrett Maines in second. Tommy Holman will line up alongside those two in the third. Then we've got Joni Olikainen and Gyorki Zajson in fifth. Adria Perez, Jake Robertson and Marcos Matamoros will take the third row, with Bo Albert and Rasmus Tuominen in 10th. As we have got quite a few of the drivers gridded up so far. You can see there in the pit exit of the road course, just waiting for a couple more drivers. A couple more drivers pop onto the grid. You can see how narrow it is down at the back of the grid there. All the drivers are in their slots. We are ready to race here for the final time at Daytona. And we go green for the feature. It's also a really good start for all three of them. Garrett Maines on the inside. Actually, that's Salas on the inside. Looks like he's got a good start, but Olikainen gives him a little bit of a punt. Look at Jake Robertson. He's up into first from nearly the back of the grid. Jake Robertson up into first with Salas. And Maines going side by side with Matamoros. Let's see how everyone gets through the jump. Everyone seems to get through pretty okay. But it's Robertson by Salas from Maines in the top three. Robertson with the 6/10 advantage over Salas. This is an amazing start from Robertson.
And what a start from him. He is able to get on top of the lead right now. And he is starting to pull away from it with a battle between Salas and Maines for the second spot. There's Joni Olikainen, and we have some drivers hopping into the Joker lane. That's Garrett Maines going to get his Joker out of the way on lap 1. Wondering if he thinks he is able to pull away by about 2 seconds from Robertson to make that Joker lane pretty much obsolete for Robertson in terms of track position.
Absolutely, Maines needs to get a move on now and get up there. There's two set esports drivers going side by side. That's Tommy Holman around the outside of Olikainen. Let's see how they come in towards this. 3 set esports drivers in the line here with Olikainen, Holman and Tuominen in the two Beetles and the Ford. And they're in a little bit of a train led by Matamoros, but the top 3 have checked out. It looks like Robertson's gone for the Joker, and he's back into the lead of this race. Good Joker by Robertson, and it looks like Salas is now trying to catch up, but Robertson's been held up a little bit by Maines. I wonder if that might allow Salas to take the Joker and take the lead of this race.
But Maines did a great job with that Joker early, and he was able to pull away enough to where he is still within fighting distance and within striking distance of Jake Robertson. You can see him right on that back bumper. Before he took the Joker, Robertson was a solid maybe 5 car lengths ahead. Now he's right on the back bumper battling for the lead. Only half a car length between those two. He's going to dive it down the inside. Contact with Robertson. Gets him up out of the groove. And it's Salas to the lead here in this motor race. Salas with the Joker. He was able to get the lead over Maines and Robertson. And Robertson with another issue coming off of the jump.
Awful for Robertson, but Maines, that wasn't the smartest of moves for him. He held up both of them, and Salas managed to take the Joker. Good move by Salas, seeing them going side by side. Jake Robertson loses out another position to Olikainen there. And they come to the Joker, but it's side by side on the exit. They're still side by side. Robertson just had to back out of that one. But now the lead for this race is being battled out by Salas and Maines. I believe they're teammates in the two American drivers there, as Holman will take the Joker. Where is he going to come out? He's going to come out up in third. Olikainen will take the position back off. The 2 set esports drivers almost side by side as they come to the exit.
Salas did a great job with that Joker. He saw that battle going on and he was able to get the lead. He has pressure from Garrett Maines, but it's not immense. He's not on the back bumper of him just yet. So we still have 6 laps remaining in this race. When we come across the line, it'll be 5 laps to go. This is basically 2 heats put together, the longest race of the night. They need to make sure they conserve all they can for these 10 laps and make sure they can get that win at the end. And right now, Garrett Maines is in a great spot to be able to make it push towards the end of this race. As Rasmus Tuominen has not taken his joker yet, he is going to be trying to catch Adria Perez to get a battle for the 7th spot.
Absolutely, there's Jake Robertson over the turtle curb. He's had an absolute mare of a jump there, hit the turtle curb, that's his car damaged and into the wall. And meanwhile, Bo Albert is out of this race. I didn't see anything happen to him. Robertson joins him in pit road. I'm not too sure what happened to Bo Albert at the start of this race. Actually, it was just 3 laps ago. I think it was probably a similar sort of incident to what happened with Robertson, maybe messing up the jump or something. Matamoros takes the joker. He's going to come out in 4th, just ahead of Tommy Holman. Look at that.
What a race for Robertson. Just mistake after mistake, especially coming off of that jump. You got to feel for him trying to battle for this championship. But unfortunately, here in Daytona, it was just not written in the stones for him to get this win. Salas pulling away from Maines now more than ever. 2 seconds is the gap as Matamoros made that pass on Hallman, and he is just trying to get up now to Johnny Olikainen to get a pass for the 3rd spot and get onto the podium. Everybody in the top 5 has taken their jokers. Perez, Tuominen, and Zazon have not taken a joker yet this race.
Absolutely, that's right on board with Tommy Holman over the jump. Massive air from them. As they come over the jump, he's right on the rear bumper of Marcos Matamoros. Over the grass a little bit. It's more grip on the grass than on the dirt. And for those of you who know how slippery grass is on iRacing, you must know how slippery the dirt is if it's less grippy than the grass. But Tommy Holman up in 5th. The top 5 have all jokered, and it's a good 2.5 gap behind him to Adria Perez. Perez might be able to jump these two if he takes his joker as we start lap 9 of 10, 2 laps to go.
Maines has caught up a tiny bit, and so is Hallman to Matamoros. Good exit off of the jump into these 2 corners. He's doing a great job of chaining them together and sort of just treating them as one corner to where it moves so fluidly. But he's going to put the back bumper to Matamoros. Not going to do anything. Didn't move him up out of the groove, so Matamoros going to hold on to P4 as the leaders are going to come across the stripe and get the white flag. For 1 lap to go here in the feature race, Salas pulling away from Garrett Maines as they're taking a look at the battle for 4th between Matamoros and Hallman.
I wonder what happened to Garrett Maines. He's dropped back quite a considerable amount. He was right on the rear bumper of Salas, and now the gap is about 2 seconds as Matamoros and Tommy Holman still battling it out for this 4th position. I think Holman's going to have to make a lunge up the inside into the hairpin. This is going to be his last overtaking opportunity. Is he going to make a move? He's hanging tight in there as here is the race leader, Vicente Salas, with a great joker giving him the lead after missing out at the start of the race. He didn't have the best start, but he capitalized, and Vicente Salas will win round 6 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Qualifiers here at Daytona, followed by Maines and Olikainen. Matamoros will just about take 4th. Tommy Holman was about half a second from the end there. Perez will take 6th, Tuominen in 7th, Jajon in 8th. There is the beaten up car of Jake Robertson, who finishes in 9th, and here are the results on the screen then. Vicente Salas winning by 3 seconds at the end there. Then Maines, Olikainen, Matamoros, and Tommy Holman in the top 5. Adria Perez will finish in 6th. We've got Rasmus Tuominen in 7th, Georgi Zajon in 8th, and 2 drivers who did not finish, Jake Robertson and Bo Albert, down in 10th. I still don't know what happened to Bo. I have to ask him after the race. But Joshua, that was a really, really intense race.
An intense feature, and intense heats as well. A lot of battles for transfer spots. A lot of battles towards the midfield and especially up front. It was an exciting feature to end this night off. So what happened to Bo Albert? You're taking a look at that Ford Fiesta, and he just got turned around. He got turned around backwards. And I'm not sure what exactly led to his retirement. So that was the incident that happened with Bo Albert. Now he's back in the 10th spot. see if we can see exactly what led to him not finishing this race. Come out of the dirt section, back onto the asphalt, and the car just wouldn't turn, and right into the barriers. So it looks like that car just had a little bit of an issue turning and ended up into the tire barriers, and that spelled the end of the race for Bo Albert.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for him. He got a slowdown, I think, and then under the brakes, his car just would not turn, lost all grip, and into the tire barriers that are on the inside of that hairpin. I've done that a couple times as well. They are killers here at Daytona. You can see on the outside of that shot as well. There's tire barriers here stick out all over the place on the inside of that corner as well. So really unfortunate. But we've got some drivers waiting for some interviews, including our race winner, Vincente Salas. Let's get him into the commentary box for a word then. Vincente, welcome to the commentary box. Congrats on that win. Talk us through that race.
Oh, thank you so much. This track has been one of my favorite, and it was marked on the schedule. And to be able to kind of clutch up here was really, really awesome.
Well, you didn't have the best of starts, but you capitalized on the move made by Mains on Jake Robertson into turn one, number one, with your Joker overtaking both of them. Talk us through your decision there. Did you have the Joker pre in your mind, or did you just make that in the heat of the moment?
Well, I was kind of planning on trying to get out to the lead and leading the race, but when we got jumped on the start, just kind of tried to fall in line and take what we could get. And when Garrett jokered, I knew that would hold Jake up. And then Jake jokered, and I knew I was within range to take the joker and be ahead of both of them. So I kind of just tried to take what I could get there time wise, and we got lucky and got ahead of them.
And then you checked out at the end there. You were 3 seconds ahead. You had a little bit of a battle with Garrett in the early laps of the race, but then absolutely dominating the rest of it. So congratulations for that. You still got 3 strength of field races left this week, but this is definitely a good result to start off that week.
Yes, I am very, very excited. It takes a lot of stress off of me the rest of the week because these races, like it's a lottery whether you make it through turn one, as the viewers probably saw here, and to be able to kind of break through and get the points in the first race, it really makes the rest of the week a little more relaxing and fun. So
Absolutely, you've got some points in the bag. It always does help. Maybe you'll get some extra points throughout the rest of the week if you can keep up performances like this one. Great drive today. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us for an interview. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
yes, I'd like to give a shout out to Garrett Maines for building these bad fast cars. All the guys at Elliott Sadler Esports for the support. Wear Hansky gloves for supplying me my gloves for my sim and my karting. Musgrave Racing Co., my karting team, and Stroker Industries, and all my friends that support me through sim racing.
Well, thank you very much. Then your race winner, Vincente Salas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
All right then, Joshua. It's good to hear from Vincente, and I believe you've got Garrett Maines waiting in the interview room.
Garrett Maines, welcome to the commentary box. P2 for you. You had that lead for a little bit. You had a little bit of a battle with Jake Robertson. Talk about the race overall for you. How did you feel about the race come the checkered flag?
I'm really lucky to have survived turn one. I really thought me and Vicente were going to be done right there. But just lucky to get out of that mess and get out pretty much clean. Me and Jake had one heck of a battle. It was really close racing there. Like I was trying to go for as much space as I could get, so I just held a straight line until the turn in. He was trying to make me enter on the line, and just we ran out of room and we touched. But it was fantastic battle between the two of us, and then I got that slowdown trying to keep the pressure on Vicente. And as the track wore off, I was getting looser and looser to the point where it wasn't really drivable in some sections. I ended up getting a little bit of damage trying to push, but ended up still holding on to second, and that was nice. At least I remembered, to come over here for the interview. Unlike Lucas Oil, I didn't even know we were broadcasting, so like that was news to me this week.
So you had a good race. You were talking about how that track wore and the car got looser. Is that why you were within striking distance from Salas for a little bit and you fell off to about 2 seconds by the end of the race?
Yeah, the slowdown didn't help. I think that put me like 1.6 behind him, but in the end, like I don't think I would have been able to do anything unless I was able to keep that pressure on. And you could see it like just from watching the replay. I was way more sideways than he was. I know what he was running. He was running one of the different versions from me that was a little bit snugger, and I didn't know to run it. I had only about 20 minutes of practice before this race today, and hadn't run on a worn track, so that was a rude awakening when we went out wide coming out of the last dirt turn. So that was interesting. But for sure, like I mean, this race, good show for both of the ESE cars, and hopefully we can continue that strength throughout the week and maybe get a win.
P2 finish for you. Good points. Do you feel confident going into the last rounds of this championship? You can stay in that top 14?
I think the way it's been going, if we get a couple more weeks, we haven't even gone to Iowa yet, which is the track I'm really looking forward to. That was the place for me last season, and considering I was on vacation with the G27 that was not exactly functioning properly, I was very happy with that too, because that's probably one of my best tracks as well. And just for me to be on vacation, Hell's my least favorite, and then Lucas being my favorite, and not being able to run on my normal rig. But definitely looking forward to the rest of the season. I think we're going to have some good luck with the Smithfield car, and got to thank everybody that makes it happen over there. And they fund my real life racing as well. So huge thank you to Smithfield and 101 CBD for helping out Sim Seats with this rig. Absolutely love it. So.
Well, thank you, Garrett Maines, Pete, number 2 finisher here at Daytona. And Dane, you have P3 finisher Johnny Olikainen.
Absolutely. Let's get him in here for a quick chat. P3 man, Joni Olikainen in the commentary booth. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, that was a pretty good race from yourself, finishing 3rd. Obviously, last week you won here at Atlanta Short. So coming to Daytona, your confidence must have been pretty high.
To be honest, in this track, my confidence wasn't too high because for some reason I just didn't find any pace on fresh track, and in qualifying I think I was 6th, so that wasn't too good. But then in final my pace was better, so it was enough for P3. We can live with this.
Yeah, obviously with the feature, there's a more worn track, which might have helped you out a little bit in the feature. You're currently leading the points championship so far in the series. That must feel pretty good. You got a pretty big haul of points, and you're looking good for a world championship seat.
Yeah, it has went quite well. So I'm just trying to get same kind of results for the remaining of the season, and then in World Championship, then we will just try to push and keep the same momentum.
Absolutely. Well, next week we're heading to Phoenix from one rookie circuit to another. How do you find Phoenix? You got much pace there?
I'm not sure. Let's see. I think we can do quite a good result there, but let's see.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Joni. 3rd place in this race. Congratulations. Heading into the rest of the week, good luck for all of that. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to my team, Set Esports, and to my teammates and all the sponsors.
Well, thank you so much, Joni, for joining us. Congratulations on 3rd and good luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Well, good to hear from him then in the number 2 car for Set Esports, Joni Olikainen in 3rd position. Joshua, that was a really good set of races there. Really enjoyed that.
It was a really good race. A lot of carnage, a lot of moving around with the track position, and a lot of exciting racing all around. And the 2 Americans getting on top, P1 and 2, representing the good old US of A, with everybody else dropping from 3rd to 10th. I gotta represent for the United States of America. Vincenze and Garrett did an amazing job tonight.
They absolutely did, and that's gonna had them in good stead for the final 3 races of the week. So good luck for everyone running those. And let's have a look at the standings quickly before we leave. Let's see if I can get them up on my screen. We've got Joni Olakainen still winning the championship. 3rd place was enough for him. And then moving down the field, I think Vincente Salas has just managed to get into 2nd. So after that really good result today. Actually, no, he's in 1st. Vincente Salas takes the lead with Joni Olakainen in 2nd. Then we've got Garrett Maines in 3rd. Killian Dialomelo in 4th. He's obviously the Dirt Rally 2.0 Rallycross World Championships World Champion. So he's obviously right up there. He's in 4th. Jake Robertson's down in 8th. Marcos Manamoris in 5th. So that's really muddled up the grid, the World Championship standings right now. So that's going to send a lot of drivers, like Daniel Mitrani Fenalosa was 14th, now 12th. So he's got himself a little bit of a buffer as well. So this is making stuff really interesting as we head into next week at Phoenix. And then we're back at Daytona for the short layout. So lots of Daytona. We've got 3 rounds of the championship here at Daytona. 2 at the long layout and 1 at the short layout. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Josh, do you know much about the Phoenix circuit? What are your thoughts heading into that round?
It's going to be exciting because it is a much faster circuit than Daytona, some long straightaways, one of the turns being completely flat out, and you're trying to go flat out to get the most time out of that car as possible. A long sweeping dirt section. I think it's going to be an exciting race, and I think it's going to be a little more carnage and a little more racing than we saw this week.
Absolutely. The way it does provide good racing, obviously with the trickiest jump in iRacing Rallycross as well. The drivers are going to have to try and work their way through at the start of the race. That's going to be really interesting to see. So everyone watching, join us next week, same time, Wednesday, 8 p.m. GMT. We'll be back for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Qualifiers Week 7 at Phoenix. This has been Week 6 at the Daytona International Speedway. I've been Dane Baird, joined by Joshua Lee. Mark Trenter has been in the production booth, showing all of the beautiful SDK gaming overlay and the cameras that you're seeing on your screens. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. We wish you a good night and happy racing.